So, bear with me if this is a weird angle. This will be the wrist warm-up, which is good to do any day, actually, but especially before doing the animal exercises, which require a lot of pressure on the wrists. So we'll start in a tabletop position. You can put something under your knees, like a folded over yoga mat, in order to take off some pressure from the knees. Again, in the tabletop position, just check that you're not too far forward or too far back. And you're going to start by really squeezing your fingers into the floor and raising your wrists. Now, if it's too much for you to be here, you can also bring your hands closer to your knees. You should feel some resistance, and you are trying to do this like a bouncing. And if this is too easy, you can just move your hands out a little bit more, and not just move your hands out, so not like this, but you also shift your weight more over your hands. And you'll notice that when you shift your weight over your hands, it becomes more challenging. So make sure you keep your arms straight, and that you don't forget to engage your core, that you don't start to sink and to let go of all of the things we worked on in this position, that you also don't sink here, that you're not here. The next wrist warm-up. And you can bring your hands as close as you want to your knees. As you become more flexible there, you can also move your knees away from your hands. And you're just sitting back onto your feet. Okay. And you'll repeat that about 20 times bouncing. So 1, 2, 3, about that speed. The next warm-up, again in this tabletop position, and you start with your elbows facing out, so the inside of your elbows are facing each other, and then you rotate your elbows so that the inside of your elbows faces in front, and that your actual elbows face behind. And you'll just rotate. Again, about 20 times. Keeping it easy. With that I mean you don't have to jam your elbows and then tense up. You're just oiling the joints. Now we'll move back onto our knees and again, sit back onto our heels. Make sure your shoulders don't go up to your ears. Roll your shoulders back so that your posture is maintained, and what's actually stretching your wrists is just this motion of thinking of sitting back on your heels. I mean, my butt isn't actually touching my heels. It's more about the intention. And from there, you maintain this position, and we're going to be rotating our elbows again so that our elbows rotate. Wow, this one is difficult. To face in front. And make sure that your hands aren't moving around the way that mine just were. And one thing that can help there is if you make your palms like the Spock hands, and then you just fit in these forks under your knees, which keeps your hands from moving around and compensating for the wrists. And you want to, if you can't go all the way, that's fine, but you just want to make sure it's really your elbows that are moving. Okay, when you're done with that warm-up, you will you're staying in this tabletop position and you're just tilting forwards until you feel the stretch in the front of your wrist. Yes. And that is it for wrists.